day. From FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, this is the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Washington football team taking on Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up with the New Orleans Saints. Hopkins has it on the tee, and here we go from our nation's capital. Here's Harris to return it. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be under the command of the former Florida State Seminole, the #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
Throughout his career, few have doubted Jameis Winston's ability to throw the football. The concerns, they've always centered around his accuracy and taking care of it. When he makes good decisions on the field, excellent numbers usually result.
First down, Winston. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
From the 44, Winston. He's got Smith here. That catch good for 5. It's third down. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Jameis now on first down. Open man is the tight end Troutman. 7 yards, the pickup there. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you've got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator. Do you really get after the quarterback, or maybe you tighten down on the receivers, bump them off of their routes, chip away at their timing so things aren't as precise as they've been so far in this game? No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. No score after 1 on EA Sports. And the first play will be a field goal try. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And Lutz's kick is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So our initial drive this afternoon results in 3. Not sure that that's a statement necessarily, but getting points on the road, never a bad thing.
You're exactly right about that. I love how you framed it, right? Not sure it's a statement, but at the same time, you're putting something out there, aren't you? Letting them know, hey, we came to play today.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. Simms going to go ahead and hold on to this one, and they'll start at the 25. So out comes the Washington offense as they get their first shot. They'll be led by their veteran quarterback. He's been in the league for a while, since 2005, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And the first possession isn't until the second quarter, but what's nice about it, it's only down 3. So what you sell your team on is, look, 1 possession, 1 drive, we put it in the end zone. We're in the lead in this game. Let's go, guys.
They'll start on the ground with Gibson. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's a bootleg with Fitzpatrick. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
Fitzpatrick throwing complete. 7 yards the pick up there. On 2nd down now. It's Gibson, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do. This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw is Fitzpatrick. He gets it to Humphreys. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A first down throw for Fitzpatrick. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick now. Catch is made. It's Harmon. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. 3rd and short yardage. Fitzpatrick got his target, Samuel. Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So it's 1st and goal, and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Again, it's Fitzpatrick. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. Working out of the gun, Fitzpatrick. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Here's Fitzpatrick. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Dustin Hopkins now for the Washington field goal. And Hopkins' kick is good. And that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for it.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
Each team with a possession, each team with a field goal as the kick is away. Here's Harris to return it. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Saints offense going to head out now late in this first half. And with 40 seconds to go, that's, you'd think, time enough to try to mount a drive should they decide to do so. To throw, Winston. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle it for just a short gain.
Second down and 7. Final play of the half here, Winston. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome, everyone, to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. Not too much to show you scoring-wise in that first half. Just a couple of field goals make up all the scoring. But the teams are ready to go at half number 2. So to bring it your way, let's get right.
Second half ready to roll. 2 field goals, the combined output in half number 1. Could be first touchdown wins. And Sims says, let's bring it out to the 25. The Washington offense ready to go to begin the third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
Shotgun handoff to Gibson. Oh, nice move. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. That one caught by the tight end Bates. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable third down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Fitzpatrick going to give to Gibson. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake to Gibson. Fitzpatrick. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 41-yard line.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They go play action. Fitzpatrick. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down.
Out routes are always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. 3rd quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Pass caught left side by Humphries. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation,
Sean Payton not liking that last call. He's going to go ahead and challenge it. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After review the play, moving on the field stands.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Fitzpatrick again. And Thomas has it. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
Oh, it's time to give real credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Fitzpatrick escaping the pressure right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious in taking off.
A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. They'll run with Gibson. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Antonio Gibson, a 6-yard touchdown run. And Washington has taken the lead. Hard to argue with that being their best drive of the game so far as they use the running game to get them into the end zone.
Couldn't agree more, partner. Prior to that drive, they sputtered a little bit, but it looks like they found the formula. I would expect them to go back to that more and more as this game develops.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. And it is up. And it's good. That'll make our score 10-3 now. touchdown. Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. Here's Harris to return it. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Looking to throw again on second down. Winston throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Throwing, Winston. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays they're going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Now Fitzpatrick. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Flush to his right. Thomas brings it in. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This is Harris. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Winston and the Saints now trailing 10-3, 2:12 to play. They'll have 2 timeouts and, of course, also the 2-minute warning as they go to work on first down. Winston now to throw on first down. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Winston's throw complete there to Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
That's exactly what they were looking for. If they get another gain like that, they'll be right there in field goal range.
And the tension building. First down now, but the clock continues to move. Winston to throw. There again is Thomas. They've gone to him a lot. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
Nice, well-coached, a team that understands what's going on. They still have time to work the middle of the field as they just did there.
The Saints in the hurry up here, clock continuing to roll. Now Winston. He'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Inside of a minute to go now. 2 timeouts left. Still in pretty good shape.
I think they're in excellent shape here if they use the timeouts judiciously and use the sideline as an additional timeout.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Here's Winston. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Smith. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them in bounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens in bounds.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Winston. Eluding the pressure right. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll get this out to Kamara. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Second and goal from inside the 5. He's back to throw. And he is across and in for the score. And now they can tie the game in the final stages with the extra point.
Or they can go for 2 and go for the win. Yes, sir, that touchdown puts them in striking distance. And let me tell you something, forget being conservative here. Go for it, go for 2.
Well, going for it on the road. Want to win it right now.
Want to win it right now, have the momentum, go ahead and get it done.
Will Lutz on for the point after. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Will Lutz on for the point after. And we may very well be headed to overtime. So that drive goes 8 plays. And the touchdown and PAT mean we are tied here in the final minute of play. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. Here's Sims to return. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. On first down, it's Gibson. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Here's Fitzpatrick. He'll air this out deep for Harmon. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team is...
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Here's Steven Sims on the return from his end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
As we said, they control their own destiny now. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now the first throw in overtime for Fitzpatrick. That's Samuel, caught left side. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1? To throw, Fitzpatrick. Completes it to Samuel. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, Fitzpatrick toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face, good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're at OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And here's a give to Gibson. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Gibson again. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
It's 3rd and 4. Big play here, trying to keep this opening drive of overtime alive. Fitzpatrick. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want.